Hello everyone, and welcome to another Company Heroes 2 replay cast. My name is ATR, and today we're going to have a 1v1 on Semoskiy. Not the winter version, the standard version, so I like. So anyways, our heroes today are going to be Akosi, playing for the Germans. And his opponent this day is going to be VindicareX. Quite a favorite of mine, if I do say so, and very good player. And in talking about the players, let's go ahead and check their ranks. Now, VindicareX is the highest ranked in this matchup. Very impressive. He is currently ranked 12 for his Soviet play. And he's also ranked 17th for his German, so very high up there. We've actually seen him participating in the Sunday Night Fights tournament and doing pretty well. Hasn't actually won one of the bouts just yet, but hell, there's still 2 more qualifiers left to go, right? And anyways, Akosi, he's no scrub himself. His German rank is actually 22nd, so, you know, not bad. Pretty close there, so we should be expecting a very nice game. So, right off the bat, well, not right off the bat, but very close to the bat, we see a very interesting opening. We see VindicareX sending out his combat engineers to capture this point right outside his base, and then sending them back home and building tier 1 after having gotten 2 conscripts. So, very interesting indeed. So we shall see what he gets from tier 1. Especially since he's getting it at this point, I doubt that he's just using it, you know, for teching to something else, because you can't really do that at this point. Anyways, as far as Akosi goes, he got himself tier 1 like you would expect. Grenadiers as well, going 2 Grens and then an MG. We shall see what he follows up on that. And, well, considering 360 is usually what you spend in either penals or snipers, let's see what VindicareX gets. And that is nothing just yet. Okay. Oh, there it goes. Sniper. Ooh, interesting. We have seen him. Wait, actually, was it Vindicare? Ah, no, I forget. I've seen openings straight into sniper with, you know, no conscripts first. But it's a very interesting opening build order there. 2 conscripts, tier 1 sniper. We'll see. Anyways, engagement up here in the northern field. We have conscripts taking residence in that house, being quite annoying to the fortress of Akosi. Akosi, well, all he can really do is just move his grenadiers to heavy cover and finish capturing the point, although he didn't capture the point. Oh, little mistake there by Akosi. He moved out of the area just before the cap went down, and he is now losing that fuel point, even though his Grens are right there and could have finished the cap with just 1 extra second. They had stayed in the area. Conscripts do notice that the point is not captured, so they move out of the house and are now going to the fuel point. They notice that the Grens are still there and shooting at them, so they will quickly retreat and head back into the house, into the safety of their fortified residence. Center of the map, we see Akosi just taking, you know, the map as much as he can. He has an MG42 nearby, and we hear some shots going down, but that is because there's a Gren squad shooting from house to house with the conscript squad over on the fuel. Conscripts, however, are only able to shoot from 3 windows, while the Grens are able to shoot from 4, although these 3 windows down there don't actually have the capability of shooting because of the fence, so sniper hitting the field now for VindicareX, takes a shot at something. It looks like it was the Pios. Pios were laying down wire to try to make the approach a little bit more difficult for Vindicare, and got themselves shot. MG42 jumps into the house and will have a very nice shot at those snipers. The sniper needs to move out of the way. They get themselves into the light cover of that brush and allows them to cloak. Sniper shot goes in, kills the gunner inside the house, and there goes the burst of the MG. Snipers do manage to cloak and avoid that. Conscript squad moving in to take the brunt of the fire, and Sniper opens up against onto the house, but misses the shot because unfortunately snipers are not able to hit everything in the house reliably. Snipers jump the fence, getting themselves into heavy cover, and then they decide to move around back to the other side. Center map, we see the engineers getting a flamethrower, now using it against the MG42 in that house. MG42 forced to evacuate, and Akosi is now backpedaling with his infantry. However, Akosi has gotten himself tier 2 already and is getting a Panzer Grenadier squad out of that, queued up with a scout car. So, very interesting tech order. So it's only 2 Grens, 1 MG42, getting a second Pio to build it, and getting some very quick Panzer Grenadiers. I mean, those barely 5 minutes in. Actually, they're going to hit right at the 5-minute mark. There you go, 5 minutes and Panzer Grenadiers. So very quick Panzer Grenadiers. Right-hand side, Pios for akosi, just capturing territory. These guys still fighting it out from house to house, not really doing much. And the combat engineers for the VindicareX just moving through the center, not actually capturing any territory, more as a scout essentially. They are packing that flamethrower, which will allow them to go against these Grens and potentially flush them out of that house. Up north, Sniper is supporting the conscript squad. The Grens are now down to 2 men themselves. Conscripts do fall to 3 men, but with the Sniper there for support, the Grens will lose that fight. Now down to 1 man, forces the retreat for akosi, and the conscripts will start decamping that point, or finish decamping the point, and get, no, actually they are going to retreat just as the decamp goes off, and get themselves reinforced. There was a Panzer Grenadier squad followed up by Scout Car and a Pio moving into the zone, so they would have potentially died very quickly if they had not moved. Conscripts Sniper being used to capture the victory point in the center while under cloak, considering that it has that camouflage. And the combat engineers did flush out those Grens, did a little bit of damage. They're actually down to 3 men. Well, although they are 4, it's just 1 kill, but the health of them is at about 25% for the whole squad. So that flamethrower is going to do quite a lot of damage. Instantly burns alive 1 of them. Rifle nade going down on the combat engineers. Grenade hits, doing a little bit of splash damage, but not much else. More flamethrower action, and they get out of there scot-free. More conscripts moving up for Vindicare supporting, and tech-wise, we have not much else. We have medics. Oh no, the snipers get caught by the scout car. Fortunate loss there for VindicareX, ends up losing his sniper squad, and yeah. Does select the guard mortar coordination tactics, which allows them to get the guard rifles that are currently hitting the field. Will allow them to counter that scout guard quite effectively. But with the presence of Panzer Grenadiers near it, those guards are going to have a tough time if they don't get conscripts to support, but it does have 2 conscript squads moving up with it, so it should be fine. So Panzer Grenadiers trying to hold the line. MG42 jumping into the houses is going to put a lot of pressure on these infantry units. They are moving straight onto the MG42. The MG42 sets up and is going to start shooting. The grenade falling right on top of the MG42. Nails it, but doesn't do a lot of damage. Bundle A landing on the conscripts and the guards. 1 conscript squad ends up retreating a little bit too preemptively, but the guards as well retreat in the face of those Panzer Grenadiers down to 2 men and the scout guard there for support. So very nice move there by akosi. Very strong push with the MG42 coming up for defense, even though it's now down to 2 men. Up north or the left-hand side, however you want to look at it, Pios for akosi, just capturing territory. And victory point-wise, well, akosi is actually in the lead, 494 to 485. Anybody's game at this point, but he is going to be getting... Well, actually, he doesn't have anybody in the center. So right now the points are at a stalemate. Nobody is taking anybody. So rifle nade landing by these Grens right in this point, anticipating or expecting that there might have been a mine laid down at this point. Probably because he saw this mine being laid down by Vindicare, but... Well, I suppose fortunately for Vindicare, there was no mine laid down there. He only laid down the one on the other side, and that rifle nade was a little bit of a waste. Back at base, we now see a 120mm mortar for Vindicare. He's trying to break that pin. Just to have that MG42, Scout Car, and Panzer Grenadiers in the area. So the 120mm mortar is quite excellent to help break those lines. And here comes the shots. Nice shot landing right in the middle. Doesn't actually kill anything, but makes quite a splash. And the Panzer Grenadiers end up having to displace. Oh, nice shot there on the house. Does a lot of damage to the structure itself, almost collapsing it. And the MG42 jumps out, will set up around the fence, just still continuing to cover the approach. But it does give Vindicare a little bit of a respite there, allowing him to push forward. Conscripts getting mauled by those Panzer Grenadiers, down to 2 men, down to 1 probably on the retreat, but the last man alive is very healthy and makes it out. Second Panzer Grenadier squad on the field for akosi, now right in front of the base. Probably throw a bundle nade right on top of the guards. Bundle nade goes down, the guards retreat, and ooh, a lot of damage. 2 men killed, and maybe 1 more on the retreat. They decide to stop there for a little chat, and the Panzer Grenadiers at 2 men decide to retreat, not wanting to risk it. Right-hand side, conscripts do not manage to hold the line against Grens and a minesweeper, Pio. The minesweepers do end up clearing out any mines in the zone here, and the Grens will capture that victory point. So now, akosi is going to start putting the pressure on Vindicare for those victory points. And the center victory point is still nobody's, but, well, akosi is currently in a position where he can very easily take it for himself. No additional tech for Vindicare, and we now see Tier 3 coming up for akosi. Flak Panzer would be an excellent choice here, but something tells me that we're probably going to see a Panzer IV. Like I said, Panzer IV is the safer choice, the more rounded choice. It's able to deal with multiple threats. Not as amazing as the Flak Panzer against infantry, but you know, sometimes it's not worth the risk, right? So bundle late landing on the combat engineers. Combat engineers forced to retreat. Conscripts, mortars, and guards pushing forward. That Grand squad still holding its own. Now veteran C1 retreating, one down to 2 men. And the scout car is poking its head on the other side of that hedge, being quite a nuisance. The guards rifles move up and will potentially throw a shot with their PTRS. No? Well, it looks like they had already done that. The scout car did take quite a bit of damage, but it will make it out alive. And full retreat out of the center for Akosi. He's sending all his units back to reinforce and heal up. Although, not really heal up, he doesn't have a med bunker, so yeah, I suppose that's it. And like we said, we now see the Panzer IV being produced. So yeah, like I said, I mean, in this situation, we can tell that a Flak Panzer would be way more effective, but Akosi doesn't really, you know, have that information available, so the Panzer IV is always the safer choice. And yeah, so we now see Vindicare poking into the center, trying to recapture some territory, even with a 2-man conscript squad very damaged. Does capture my words. I try to use words and words don't come out. But anyways, does capture the point and ends up retreating, you know, keeping it safe a little bit. Down south, conscripts being used to capture, and the Panzer IV actually hit the field. So we shall see if Vindicare has any way to deal with it. He does have those guard rifles and 18-8s to throw at it. A little bit of a soft counter, won't actually kill it, but it is a slight deterrent. And if Akosi is, you know, cautious, he won't send that Panzer IV straight into Vindicare's face. Panzer Grenadiers just rushing straight onto the point that was taken. Once they maybe are mortar taking some shots at them, but it misses since they were moving. We have conscripts in the house now getting shot by the Panzer IV. The conscripts should be able to pull up for there for a while, but they decide to evacuate that church, not wanting to take too much damage, and they move over to the left-hand side. Mortar still here behind that house, taking some shots at infantry, Panzer Grenadiers as they run. Panzer IV notices the mortar, takes some shots at it. The mortar decides to pack up and leave, lugging that wheeled mortar cannon as fast as they can. Will take some damage, but the Panzer IV will not be able to pursue. Once again, this is not the winter version, so it can't just simply run through here. It has to go through the oh, conscript squad ends up dying for Vindicare. So Vindicare not having a very easy time in this game. Closely putting the pressure on quite constantly, and well, denying him the map for the most part. Guard rifles hold up in that house for now. They're trying to fend off against Panzer Grenadiers and Pios. And even the Panzer IV moves into the mix, going to take some shots into the house, do some good damage to the structure and the units inside. PTRS rifles will damage the Panzer IV, but with the presence of Pios nearby, I mean, that Panzer IV really doesn't care that much. AT gun getting produced for Vindicare, currently hitting the field, will help him fend off against that Panzer IV, but unless Akosi makes a critical mistake, will not, you know, kill it. Panzer Grenadier still holding the line against conscripts. Conscripts getting veteran C2. Remember that at veteran C2 the conscripts do not get any additional armor. The only thing they get is very nice move there by Akosi, landing a bundle late in the retreat path of those guards, almost killing them. Down to 2 men on the retreat. But anyways, the conscripts do get a 40% increase in their accuracy, and the other thing that they get at veteran C2 is a 25% increase range on the model. But no defensive bonuses. Panzer Grenadiers, however, at veteran C2 do get defensive bonuses, if I'm not mistaken. That's 30% armor. Ooh, another conscript squad ends up getting eliminated by those Panzer Grenadiers. The base sector MG opening up on the Panzer Grenadiers as they push forward. Nasty bundle laid there by Akosi, actually nails his own squad and ends up retreating in shame back to its own base. So a little bit greedy there for Akosi, and yeah. Didn't pan out in that sense, but he's still in a very dominating position. Second Panzer IV now being produced, and Vindicare only has an 8 to deal with that. Let's take a quick look at those veterancy stats for the Panzer Grenadiers. It is actually 40% armor, not 30, and they get a 25% cooldown reduction, which, if I'm not mistaken, just means, you know, faster rate of fire, essentially. So AT gun moves up, takes some shots at the Panzer IV, brings it down to about half health, and forces it to retreat. We have Pios with the Minesweepers moving over to the Panzer IV to help repair it, and the second Panzer IV now heading the field, going to head into the center. MG42 hold up in the church, trying to hold the position as much as they can. Nasty shot there by the 120 from Vindicare. Kills 2 of the men in that church and blows a hole in the structure.
Who's forging our asses?
Oh, very nice shot there by the 120mm mortar. Collapses the church entirely, and akosi ends up losing his MG42. So a little bit of a victory there for Vindicare. Allows him to prod into the center a little bit more easily. Victory point-wise, however, Vindicare is now down to 298, so the pressure is on a little bit. And over here on the southern side with the fuel point, we see the Panzer IV hitting a mine that got laid down by Vindicare, getting a damage on the engine, and the combat engineers are running over to the victory point to stop that drain. So Vindicare managing to get a little bit more control into the game. Nothing in the center right now for akosi. And with the loss of his Panzer Grenadier squad and the MG42, he has much less of an impact on the field with his infantry. Guard rifles getting back into the house, even though it is very damaged. It will shoot at that Panzer IV. There goes the VindicareX rifle bouncing off the frontal armor. And the Pios just move behind the tank and start repairs, it looks like. Yeah, they're going to start field repairs. At Veterancy 0, 1, and 2, it is a very difficult thing. Well, not very difficult, but very, how would you say, dangerous thing to do, I guess you could say, because you take extra damage while... Oh, nice rifle nade there. You take extra damage on your Pios and combat engineers while repairing, but at Veterancy 3, you actually get rid of that, so, you know, something to keep in mind. Grenadiers, as well as Veterancy 2, gets 40% increased accuracy and a 25% range increase on its rifle nade. Things to keep in mind, but the rifle nade has already been used on these guys. They are pinned down. The Maxim machine gun turns around and focuses on the Panzer Grenadiers that are approaching. The Grens do break the pin down and are now suppressed, and could potentially throw another rifle nade, but the Maxim machine gun decides to retreat. So Vindicare is forced out of the field completely. Nothing left on the field. We see the center victory point getting captured by Grens. The right-hand side is still in possession for Vindicare, but he, well, is only going to be slowing down the victory point tick. He did get tier 2, like we saw, to get that AT gun. And I'm assuming, no, actually, I am wrong to assume that. Never mind. I was going to say that I was assuming that Vindicare was going to try to use his Doctrine call-in, you know, the T-34-85s, which is an okay thing to use, but considering that there's already 2 Panzer IVs on the field, it was going to be quite difficult. They are currently split up, so he could, you know, get a moment of opportunity there, but instead Vindicare is going to go for the safer route and get tier 4 and build his an Su-85. Su-85 quite capable of dealing with those Panzer IVs very easily, and it has the AT gun for support, so the Panzer IVs can't just simply, you know, flank it. Very nice. Nasty rifle nade on those conscripts, now down to 2 men, getting Veterancy 3, and down to 1 man, needs to retreat. It does retreat. Nade killing those Panzer Grenadiers, so very nice victory there for Vindicare, but a second Panzer Grenadier squad is already on the field and will be somewhere around here, or yeah, it was Panzer Grenadiers, right? Yeah, there's the Stormgewehr rifles. So small victories here and there for Vindicare, but overall he is in a very difficult and, well, losing position. He is pinned into his base quite constantly, losing territory for the most part, and not able to get a foothold on the map. And there's a third Panzer IV being produced for akosi. His tier 4 is up for Vindicare, but he only has 96 fuel at this point. He still needs to wait quite a bit. Only has 13 fuel income, so it's going to be over a minute before he can actually get that Su-85. So probably 2, maybe 3 with the build time. So he is going to have to wait. Nice rifle nade falling on the Maxim machine gun, but only does damage to the squad members, only killing 1 of the men outright. But with the damage that got inflicted, the Grenadiers move up and actually kill 2 more men, bringing it down to 3. But Vet 3 conscripts, Veterancy 2 guard rifles, and a Veterancy 2 combat engineer are going to force that Gren squad to move out of the way. Panzer IV crossing over to the left-hand side, now abandoning the southern field. Going to force those conscripts to engage it. Conscripts will move down onto the Panzer IV, try to get a rifle nade out, but Panzer IV backs off and is going to make it scot-free. But with the second Panzer IV moving into the zone, and the third one on the other side. VindicareX is in a very difficult position. The AT gun is not set up in the proper angle. Does turn around to shoot at the approaching Panzer IV, gets a nice shot off, and brings it to about 80% health, but the center of the map is not being supported by the AT gun. Conscripts do Ura back to the Panzer IV on the left-hand side, and with 112 fuel at this point, Vindicare is close to getting his Su-85 in production, but just not quite there. 114. And there we go, 115 fuel now for Vindicare. He's going to get that Su-85. We shall see. Oh, nasty rifle nade there by akosi. Clears out the guards rifles completely. And Vindicare now has really no mode of mobile AT. His AT gun now has Veterancy 2, which gives it rate of fire and weapon control. I believe that's reload reduction and the turning rate gets improved. Center map, Grenadiers with Veterancy 3, facing up against Veterancy 3 conscripts and a combat engineer. Grens do end up retreating against that, and the Panzer IV taking some pot shots as it can. Mortar still on the field for Vindicare, taking some shots from across the river. Second AT gun getting produced, and Maxim machine gun heading back out. Su-85 almost finished production, but there's now a fourth Panzer IV on the field for akosi. Well, not on the field, but getting produced for akosi. And one Su-85 is just not going to cut it. He needs an excellent position on both his AT guns and his Su-85, and an atrocious push by akosi. I mean, with 4 Panzer IVs on the field, you can flank from... You don't even need to flank. You can send them all 4 at the same time, just making them go past the arc of fire, and one of them is not to make it right. But that is a stupid way to do it. And the Panzer Grenadiers are going to clear out the Veterancy 2 AT gun, losing that Veterancy and penetration. That's unfortunate. Maxim machine gun taking the shot by the bundle nade. AT gun as well. Su-85 actually moves in and annihilates 3 of the Panzer Grenadiers in one shot. That was quite amazing, especially for an Su-85. Again, VindicareX is in a very tough position. He is currently triple capped and down to 108 points. Going to be very soon crossing that 100-point threshold. And with the fourth Panzer IV on the field for akosi. Yeah, I don't think that Su-85 is going to cut it. akosi has just been dominating and controlling the territory, denying Vindicare his fuel, and not really cutting him a break. Maxim machine gun going up against those Grens. The Grens are getting suppressed and shot by the Su-85. Panzer IV is moving forward. 1, 2. We have the third one behind, and the fourth one coming up from the right-hand side. AT gun moves up to capture territory, now in a very bad position. It gets shot by the Panzer IV. Gonna get circle strafed and clear out by this Panzer IV, which is quite unfortunate. Second Panzer IV actually moves in and takes a shot from the AT gun, but with both besieging them, they are now down to... So both AT guns get cleared out. This AT gun in front of the base also gets cleared out. Su-85 now getting circle strafed by the Panzer IVs, and Vindicare throws in the towel even before the the battle finishes. And we see that at the very end, akosi selected his Doctrine, and that was the elite Doctrine. So yeah, very nice play there by akosi. Unfortunate, well, personally for me, unfortunate to see Vindicare lose, but yeah, very nice play for Vindicare and akosi. Sorry. So anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the game. If you have any positive or negative remarks, go ahead and leave them in the comment section below. As far as that, I do have to ask about the volume levels. I was told before that the volume levels of the game were a little bit too low previously. Let me know what you think about these volume levels, if it's too high or it needs to go even up even further. Okay. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. If you have any replays you want to send me, go ahead and send them to the email that I will put in the description. But otherwise, I hope you guys have a great day, and I will see you next time.